in. Oh, these cups have been used as ashtrays. Oh. My flat is a stinky mess. I wish I knew a superhero who could take care of the whole lot using his powers. Come to think of it, there's something I've noticed. A lot of superhero movies have been made over the past decade or so.
The Golden Blaze is a flash animated action comedy. What's it about? Well, Jason Fletcher is a young boy who loves comic books, particularly the Golden Blaze superhero series. Sadly, he's not a very popular kid and is often bullied by a boy named Leon. When Jason's father, Gregory, demonstrates his newest invention to Leon's dad, the wealthy businessman Thomas Tatum, an accident occurs that results in Jason's dad turning into the Golden Blaze. So, using the comics as a reference, Jason trains Gregory to become the best Golden Blaze he can be. Unfortunately, Mr. Tatum has also gained superpowers and takes on the guise of a supervillain called Quake. So, Jason's favourite comic book has come to life, but at what cost? This is a cute, colourful and moderately enjoyable movie. It has likeable characters, an interesting premise and some good voice acting. Sure, it's not exactly outstanding or something for Disney or DreamWorks to compete with, but it managed to keep me reasonably entertained. Yes, Pixar's The Incredibles already covered the superhero family concept, but this is still a decent effort. It's fun, exciting, action-packed and has a sweet father-son relationship. However, this film fails severely in terms of presentation. The whole movie looks more like a Windows 95 CD-ROM game than a feature-length animated film. As soon as this film started, I was instantly disappointed by the animation because it's sloppy and stale. However, even though this film looks like cutscenes from a really bad 90s PC game, it's still an enjoyable and entertaining movie. The training scenes are done well because they're not played out in a cheap and lazy montage, they're told in a way that showcases genuine bonding between Gregory and his son. Not only do we get to see a father and son growing closer, but we also get to observe a man learning to adapt to his new superpowers. We also get to see Leon bonding with his dad as Tatum adapts to his powers. It's fun watching how the villain and his son are coping at the same time because they're such a different family to the Fletchers. Another good thing about this movie is how much tension and competition is between Gregory and Tatum. Tatum wants to prove that he's the most powerful figure in the city, and Gregory just wants to do the right thing. All these qualities I've just mentioned make for interesting storytelling, despite how crude the animation looks. Gregory Fletcher is adorably awkward. He's shy, clumsy and silly, but his heart is in the right place. I actually sympathise with him because he has to struggle between being a good father and a responsible superhero. You can tell he wants to raise his child properly, but at the same time, he wants to make his son proud by being a top-notch Golden Blaze too. Jason Fletcher is sparky, imaginative and courageous. He is determined to bring pride to the Fletcher family and sees his father's new identity as an opportunity to do so. However, he doesn't seem to notice that he's taking advantage of his dad's powers and doesn't realise the consequences of his actions. He's not a bad kid, he's just naive and thinks through his imagination rather than through his common sense. What makes him likeable is his passion for justice and love for superhero mythology. You can tell he really looks up to the Golden Blaze and wants his father to be as brave and strong as his hero. Thomas Tatum is a greedy, power-hungry and temperamental man. He could have come across as a generic bad guy, but once Tatum takes on his supervillain identity of Quake, he has a heap of fun with his powers. Tatum embraces his alter ego with manic energy and insanity, which makes him very entertaining to watch because he's so nuts. Leon, Tatum's son, seems like a typical bully character, but unlike most conventional on-screen bullies, we can see why he behaves the way he does. His father is the most powerful man in the city, so he's been raised with the same mindset as his dad. Leon has been taught that power and control is everything, so he sees bullying as a practical way to imitate his father's teachings. However, he's not his father's doppelganger. Unlike his dad, Leon does deep down have a moral conscience, and at the end of the day, he is just a little kid with feelings and free will. Jason and Leon's teacher, Monica, who also serves as Gregory's love interest, is sweet, sensible, and thoughtful, but she's too understanding and forgiving. Even when she's been humiliated or ignored by Gregory, she still shows interest in him and acts like nothing has happened. This is not only confusing, but also holds back potential storytelling drama. There's also a comic shop owner, someone who Jason turns to for help concerning the topic of superhero mythology. He's not very funny, and he's pretty unlikable because he's so grouchy, rude, and uncaring, but at least he serves a purpose in the story. The animation for this movie is incredibly tacky. A lack of fluidity, limited character expressions, and stilted walk cycles make the animation come across as shamefully unimpressive. The low quality of the animation makes the comedy scenes less funny than they could have been, because the timing is so sloppy. However, the action scenes look acceptable because you can tell that the animators put more effort into the fight scenes. To be honest, the poor animation actually gives the movie a bit of charm because it feels reminiscent of a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, like Scooby-Doo or the Flintstones, so I can kinda forgive its half-arsed efforts. Blair Underwood plays Greg Fletcher, and he does a pretty good job. You can feel the heart and personality of his character through his delivery. He's emotive, clear, and sounds interested in what he's reading. Cleo Thomas is very fitting for the role of Jason. He successfully captures the energy and excitement that his character expresses throughout the movie. At the same time, he shows a capability for performing drama too, by being surprisingly mature when delivering emotionally sensitive lines. The late Michael Clark Duncan from The Green Mile provides the voice of Thomas Tatum and his alter ego Quake. Michael manages to not only sound convincingly intimidating, but also really pulls off the manic insanity of his character too. Ricky Deshawn Collins, who's best known for voicing Vince in Disney's Recess, plays Tatum's son Leon. Ricky doesn't sound very threatening as a bully, and I did keep getting distracted by the fact that he sounds like Vince. However, he does a good job reading his lines. He sounds emotive and clear. Sanaa Lathan voices Monica. She does an okay job. She sounds friendly and sweet, but also gives a bit of personality to her lines. The wonderful Neil Patrick Harris voices the comic shop owner, and at first I thought his voice would sound distracting, but it's not. Neil successfully leaves his recognizable voice behind to sink his teeth into a nerdy and grumpy character. The film's music score was made by Joseph Williams, who is the son of renowned film composer John Williams, the lead vocalist of the rock band Toto, and the singing voice of Simba in The Lion King. Joseph's music score is very suitable for the tone that the film has gone with. It's wacky, cartoony, and optimistically upbeat. It's not constantly goofy though. It's also capable of creating sensitive pieces for sad scenes. Sure, it's not as strong or powerful as anything his dad has composed, but Joseph's music is certainly appropriate for this movie.
To conclude, The Golden Blaze is a cute and harmless movie. Sure, it's not exactly laugh out loud funny, and the animation sucks, but it's got its own unique charm. It's got likable characters and an engaging story. I'm going to give it 3 superstars out of 5. Now, if some of you are still wondering whether this film is your cup of tea, then consider this. If you liked such family superhero films as The Incredibles or Sky High, then you're bound to enjoy The Golden Blaze too. I've been Jambareeqi, and I hope you've enjoyed my review. Feel free to subscribe to my channel to check out similar videos. I also encourage you to follow my Facebook and Twitter. Next week we'll be taking a look at Studio Ghibli's From Up on Poppy Hill. You know what? The Golden Blaze has inspired me. I think I'll become a superhero too. Yeah! Haha!